There's no good way to start this, really. WWE Hell in a Cell, 2015. Yeah, there are things I'm angry about this pay-per-view, but I'm just feel hollow after watching this. Really, like there was nothing great about this pay-per-view, and I'm not even going to start with a fucking build-up. I didn't predict anything here. I didn't even dare to predict anything because I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Honestly, like, what are they thinking? What's the mind process with all of this? Why is it, we have the demon Kane and corporate Kane split personality. We have that shit, which is so silly. I can't even express it. You have the Undertaker's dong versus Brock Lesnar. We have, that build-up was weird, but, it didn't suck, but it was really weird. We have the legends, they drop out like fucking horse on the street to they pimp them out for ratings almost. That was fucking pathetic to watch. We have the only thing that's been consistently booked well has been the New Day, because the New Day is the greatest act going on here. Like, they are being consistently booked right, but the rest, like, is weird as fuck. We have fucking Rusev Lana storyline and got fucking dropped, and WWE is furious over that, as you can see from how they have treated him since then. And a million six-man tags. Let's dig right into it with the first match of the night, which was the Jobber Squad versus the heel Jobber Squad. Okay. Six-man tag between 3 random guys versus 3 other random guys. Was there anything really built up to this? I don't remember. Like, the only kind of thing I can remember is the Stardust and the Ascension fucking with Cesaro, but I wasn't even aware of that before tonight, because, like, I have not managed to last through an entire Raw in 5 weeks. Like, I've just watched clips, and I've gone and watched the New Day promos as all. And since you can't watch Raw on the WWE Network, yeah, yeah, the match wasn't bad. Like, all talented workers in there, so yeah, there's not much to say about it. Like, Stardust and the Ascension are sitting in the crowd taunting Cesaro. Match okay. Match is okay. Like, but there's so many issues with the booking here that I have to go into. Yeah. Sheamus. Let's begin with Sheamus, shall we? Because he's the glaringly obvious one. Is the fact that he looks stupid his gimmick now? Like, has that just been the thing they just decided, like, Sheamus is going to look like weird? Like, I get it, like the Celtic Warrior attire thing, but you have to recognize it looks silly. I'm personally fine with things looking silly, but like, when the crowd shouts "you look stupid" and you play into that, something wrong. Like, a wrestler is not supposed to look stupid. Like, he's supposed to look impressive, or look impressive in some manner. Handsome, impressive, ginormous, call it whatever. And even if you're an underdog, like an underdog type person, you're supposed to look really small, but you can see how dexterous and lean, a lean, clean fighting machine. The thing, but yeah, Sheamus has this stupid hair and beard thing, and it doesn't work. And he was also, the skin of my fucking underside of my toes are darker than Sheamus' skin, so you had to hold that thing, and you're, so much to poke fun of already. Why add anything more? And he has been given the Money in the Bank briefcase. What? Like, how many failed Sheamus pushes must you go through before you realize that this doesn't work because you booked him wrong from the beginning? Like, you gave him the WWE Championship way too quick. Despite that, I actually liked that. I liked it, or I didn't like that part, but I liked the fact that he beat John Cena clean in a tables match, because that doesn't prove anything, obviously. But he beat him clean, and that got him massive heat. But in the end, it was boring as champion because he was treated badly. Like, I remember, because I started watching wrestling around that time. A little before, but I remember that very well. And yeah, safe to say it didn't work. And then they fed him to Triple H. And then he took him out with a lead pipe. And the lead pipe thing was very quickly dropped after that. So you could have established a signature weapon, and you didn't. So great job. Memorable moments from the match. Ziggler doing the fame asser. And you're not putting that over. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a finisher. I think it's not. I think it's a signature move. I think I've seen him win matches with it, so that's weird. We're going to come back on the subject of mistreated finishers in a minute, but yeah. Cesaro comes in, shows off his amazing strength and athleticism and skill in general, and just gets the crowd going. He finally gets to the giant swing on Barrett, and Neville follows up with the red arrow, and they win. Yeah, that was the match. I have blanked out the rest, honestly, and I just remember it was decent. I didn't hate any of it. Like, I was more concerned. I would just been sitting around thinking, man, what a waste of talent. Like, Rusev, yeah, the WWE, they're so fuming over this because for some reason, they kept that shitty storyline going, it was so apparent from the beginning it was doomed to fail. Okay, it's been known for quite a while now, for a long time, that Rusev and Lana have been going out in real life. And when they started this very forced relationship storyline, for one thing, Dolph Ziggler looked terrified just standing next to her, because of course you would. Like, if you were even getting clear messing with that fucking massive battering ram of a man's woman, you would run. You would run. Like, you would get a fucking elephant rifle, and you would hope you hit him, because even then it's not sure if it would stop that man. Like, have you looked at his legs? His massive tree trunks is what he walks around with, and he looked just amazingly uncomfortable around Dana, and it just really forced makeout sessions. Yeah, no one bought into it. It was really boring, and it was really like high school drama bullshit, and it just made Rusev look even weaker. Like, they destroyed him after WrestleMania. Destroyed him. They ruined him. Rusev is done. It's done. Like, that was why I was objected to Rusev losing the United States Championship to Cena. For one thing, Cena didn't need that accolade. Hey-oh. He has 2 Royal Rumble wins, 15 World Championship. You know what? He could have managed without the United States Championship at that time. Would I be opposed to John Cena being the United States Champion in the future? No. But I didn't think Rusev should have won it. I think that should have been given to someone who could have used that as a launching pad to a greater career. Like, they beat the undefeatable Russian. They take his title. I would have maybe waited even a year more. I would have maybe had him lost it at SummerSlam 2016 just to really build this thing up, because streaks are like the only thing that actually matters now in WWE. Fuck the championships. Like, they've tried to rehabilitate them, but good luck with that. He was a great champion already. He was a fighting champion. He got into diverse feuds. Not diverse, but he got into different feuds with people, had good matches, and he built himself up as this Russian destroyer. He was for a while, for almost the entirety of his career, has been the best booked babyface in the company. Like, he's gone up against giants, cheat, and fought fairly. Like, he is he's huge, but he's still short. He's a shorter dude that has a boxing background, fighting for the nation he represents, despite the fact he's Bulgarian, fights for Russia. Like, he competes in an international sport at a high level. He, the rude talking, out loud about their like anti-American beliefs, maybe, but he had a good thing going. Like, it was very simple, but that's where pro wrestling exceeds. it's when it's simple. Wrestling is very simple when it's logical, good versus evil storylines, and this was a good thing. And then John Cena has to get involved. And I knew, because it had been rumored for like a year that John Cena was going to face Rusev at WrestleMania. Knew that was going to happen, and I knew Rusev was going to lose because they did the same thing to Bray Wyatt. So why not to Rusev? Because a lot of like with Bray Wyatt, people's justification for Rusev not winning was very funny to me. Cena doesn't need his win, and I'm like, yeah, John Cena beating an up and coming heel that sorely depends on that specific win at WrestleMania. Oh, I may faint. Like, really. I'm sorry for hopping spoony lines, but this is. I just can't put it over how backwards this they have been working with that guy. And he is ruined. Goes into this horrible storyline with Summer Rae and Lana and Dolph Ziggler. And what ends up happening is that they get engaged in real life, Rusev and Lana. And one of them spilled the beans to someone, and it ended with TMC finding out. I don't remember. I didn't research into it because I didn't care. And WWE is furious because, wasting this golden storyline, because the Monday before that happened, Rusev, and then not Rusev, Summer Rae proposed to him. And it was so weird. Like, they took Lana, because I know they're big into Lana. Lana, everything that was great about Lana was she was this hot but still business. She was a respectable woman going toe-to-toe with The Rock on the mic. The Rock on the mic. I'm not a big fan of The Rock. I thought it's great enough, but yeah. She went on toe-to-toe with him on the mic as a heel. She was a great heel manager. And they turned her into Dolph Ziggler's fangirl, dressing like a fucking idiot. Yeah, you just take away everything that made her popular in the first place, WWE. Well done. And yeah, Rusev is in forever locked in mid-card hell. If I were you, I would start looking into future endeavors, honestly, because you're not going to last. Yep. Before you know it, you're going to lose to the fucking Matadors, or even worse, El Torito. It's going to roll you up, and you're going to lose, and you're going to look like fucking idiots. Neville, he's so much fun to watch, guys. Neville, the international sensation, the dressing like an idiot. For one thing, what is it with WWE and removing first names from existence? Like Alexander, Rusev, Antonio Cesaro, especially A names, apparently they don't like those. We have NXT available. We know his name is Adrian Neville. And the cape, he was botched from the beginning. Like, they sent him in looking like a goof, still being extremely athletic and extremely talented in-ring performer. But then you have him lose back in a week. Like, he does great in his debut. And anyway, next week he fights Seth Rollins and loses. Yeah, that's great. And people were like, yeah, but he competed with Seth Rollins. No, he lost. Looked like a loser. Oh, yeah, this international sensation that all this flippy shit. Didn't help him. He lost to the guy that ran from the fucking Condiment Man. Tune in next week. Yeah, Neville is ruined. Neville is teaming with, I don't know, is it Prime Times players he's teaming with now? Like, going up against the Ascension and Stardust? Yeah, they're done. He's done. He's done. Cesaro, despite all the shit that's been laid on by the company, all the mismanagement, he's still over as fuck because he's great. All I have to say. King Barrett, I'm sorry, Wade. Like, I like you as a leader of the Nexus, but King Barrett, like, why did he stick to the King thing? Why did he have the King of the Ring tournament in the first place? Yeah, win an 8-man tournament that has been one of the most prestigious accolades and launching pads for superstars of the past. Job out for the next 8 months. That's not mean 8, but it's sort of felt like 8. And then we have Mr. Siggles, who, after having this great gem of a storyline dropped, is semi-turning heel. But then he's not. Like, he super kicked John Cena. That was obviously not on purpose, obviously, because Kofi Kingston ducked it, but still. And then he had the eye rake, and I'm just like, why is the face cheating? Unless that was going to be an elaborate heel turn. Why were you doing that? and he never get an answer. Dolph Ziggler super kicks him, IRX him. Then the Lana and Rusev horrible storyline is dropped, and he goes on his merry way to feud with Breeze. That's the Tyler Breeze. That's the that's the Phoenix that rises up of the ashes of the Summer Rae and Lana storyline. Lana and Rusev are cut out. Now we replace those two with Tyler Breeze, and I'm not going to mock the Breeze. Tyler Breeze is perfectly fine in my book. I don't see what people think is great about him. He does a good job. He's a smaller Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler is not my favorite wrestler. He bumps his ass off, and he can do. He's good enough on a worker. Not the best on the psychology bit, but he knows his technical things well enough, I suppose. And the funniest part of the match was after the match when Cesaro grabbed the large Cesaro section sign, brings it to the ring, and holds it on the wrong side that you see hide. Yeah. Next match is John Cena having the United States Open Challenge. I never liked it. People have been pressing it. I never liked it because, for one thing, it overexposed his finisher. Like, have you seen the attitude adjustment? Like, Brock Lesnar's German suplex is more intimidating than the attitude adjustment now. Like, it would have been in it anyway, but like a normal suplex from Brock Lesnar is more intimidating than the attitude adjustment. Everyone kicks out of it now. Every mid-card wrestler that goes up against him kicks out of it, and that's horrible. I remember the first time I watched Dean Ambrose go up against it. I was just like, what the hell are you thinking? They fight, they hit each other with their finishers, both kick out, and I'm just like, yeah, great. Especially in this day and age of WWE, when everyone has to win with their move, it's incredibly bad to not put it over. Like, if you're going to do that, do it on pay-per-views, like one of the big 4 pay-per-views. Don't do it in general, but not doing the normal pay-per-views either. Just do it on the big or special events. Do it on at WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, or Royal Rumble. Don't do it on anything else. Protect the finishers. Yeah. And the United States Open Challenge. And people were just suggesting everything from Samoa Joe to Finn Balor to Dolph Ziggler, Tyler Breeze, and none of these make too much sense. Like, using this to launchpad a new young career, that's going to happen. I did not put any prediction. I kind of thought Kofi Kingston was going to do it because that would have been interesting with with the New Day. Like, the New Day could have beaten him down afterwards. Like, Kofi Kingston and John Cena have always been interesting to me because I remember when they've faced off, except one tag team match a few weeks ago, Kofi Kingston and John Cena have never found their who's the better. Like back in 2009, 2010, after Randy Orton buried Kofi Kingston. Stupid. We see John Cena and Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston in a triple threat, and they match each other very well. Like, there's no upper hand game here, and John Cena was not involved in the finish. It happened due to bullshit, aka interference, but was on Raw, so that's okay. And later they had a tag team match, and I remember they beat Legacy. Long since you've heard that name, I suppose. Then next year, the 2011 Royal Rumble, after John Cena has fucking nuked the Nexus with his very presence, he had new merch that day, I believe, and he came in, and when John Cena has new merch, that's the only thing that can reinvigorate him more is getting horrendously beaten up by John Cena and by Brock Lesnar and humiliated beyond relief. That's the only thing that can give him more of a power booster. Like, when he gets a new shirt and wristband, John Cena is on fire, and he takes out all of the Nexus. And then Kofi Kingston, Hornswoggle comes in. But I don't care. He and Hornswoggle buries a lot of young wrestlers that are they buried Tyson Kidd. Shocker. And they buried Heath Slater, despite the fact that he is a member of the main heel faction on SmackDown. Because they wanted to make a Nexus 2.0 the core, which is switch team songs every other second on. Then, you know, Kofi Kingston comes in and they match each other. Like, they just go ahead and there's no clear upper hand. So I thought that would be interesting. That could have been a nice build-up to a feud. Like, the New Day and the Dudleys and John Cena have been feuding. So naturally, it would make sense for John Cena to go up against a member of the New Day and beat and lose to the titles because he's taking time off for personal reasons. Maybe he's trying to hunt down a fox. I don't know, or maybe he's maybe hosting a reality show. I don't know. Maybe he's juggling weights. I don't care. Like, he's doing something, and I'm glad the man gets his time off because that man is a workhorse and he deserves it. And I'm sure he has worked hard for years now, so it's just good. Like, give him more than 6 weeks. I would give him 8 weeks at least. Just relax and heal up and get his energy back in. You know, that's why I've given so much to the company. Anyway, back to the match. There was not the New Day member that faced him because that would have led to the New Day looking dominant and, you know, having having 2 titles and, you know, being this dominant force in WWE. Despite the fact they've been booked that way for quite some time now. The one that comes in is Alberto Del Rio. You know, I knew it was going to be a good match, whoever John Cena faced. I just hoped it was not Randy Orton or the Big Show or something that would come in and face them, but it wasn't. Alberto Del Rio comes in and fights John Cena. You know, Del Rio's great. John Cena's great. It was a great match. It was great, but it was at least a very good match. The only thing I found weird with this is that this is something with all the other matches is that they ended very quickly. And I don't even think that John Cena managed to get in an attitude adjustment. Del Rio counters his attitude adjustment into a backstabber, a move that's usually been a finisher, but now apparently it's just a backstabber. He can just roll over and sit on his knees because Cena, and the kick that wins him that won him the world championship, because Bradshaw is always going to remind us of that. And Alberto Del Rio wins. But the weirdest part of this was not that. Like, the good match, the beginning, Seb Coulter comes out. With Jack Swagger's music hits, Seb Coulter comes out. And I'm just like, that would actually be kind of brilliant if Jack Swagger won the US Championship. I know that completely ruined him. I always thought actually he should have been the one that beat Rusev, like a 3rd time's his charm kind of thing, and no one would have believed it, and he would have won it, and it would have been funny. But whatever. And he comes out driving one of those scooter things, and they were really underwhelmed by the music. He comes, and Seb starts cutting his promo. So it's like, some like Cena, some don't. So yeah, it's time for people from different backgrounds, different countries to come together, because that comes in line with his racist gimmick. It's time for Cena to lose the United States title, and someone that will do more with it than him. And then Alberto Del Rio comes out, despite the fact that he and Swagger had a very long feud, a bad feud because Del Rio was a face, despite the fact that people cheered more for the racist heels. Yeah, that feud was weird, and that was the beginning of the end of Del Rio, I think. But yeah, Del Rio wins, and he and Seb are apparently together. And here's the problem with that. Alberto Del Rio knows how to cut a promo. He has a good character in his own. They should have never dropped the whole driving in on the limousine thing and the private ring announcer, but they did, and that also, that was actually the real beginning of the end, where they just made his entrance a normal entrance. They significantly ruined him, I think. I mean, he had a great thing, he had a great look, personality, and he just oozed hate coming in with his nice cars. Very simple heel tactic that always works, but no, they had to drop it. And then he lost his specialness. Yeah, he and Seb are together. Here's the problem with that. A manager is usually given out a wrestler who is not the best to work the mic and needs someone to promote his matches, because the promo comes from a promote. The story is to match. The promo is just to sell it to you, make you invest in it. And then the match storytelling is going to take place. You all know this. But Del Rio can already do this. And I brought back, if I'm going to bring back Alberto Del Rio, I would have given him a private ring announcer once more. I would have given him the car back, and I would have let him come in looking swarmy as hell, and win the match. He won cleanly, that's fine. He doesn't need to cheat to win. He just needs to have some personality back. Like, I remember his debut was extremely effective. I liked his debut because it was a good debut. He came out, interrupted Rey Mysterio, and then beat him up and made him tap out later that night in the main event of SmackDown. And then after that, we go backstage to Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Seth Rollins, and they're trying to sell the show. And Corporate Kane walks in. Yeah, sorry, that Corporate Kane walks in, and and then Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are like, oh, that was a great rendition to open a show, because that's what you want the heel to hear. You want to see it from the heel or whatever, because John Cena lost, and Seth Rollins. No offense, Seth Rollins is great, but I don't think his promos are that good. He has Triple H syndrome. They go on for way too long, and I drone off, and I've fallen asleep during a Seth Rollins promo. I'm not kidding. Like, seriously, I fell asleep in the middle of the day after I'd slept 11 hours before that. One of my rare long sleeps, and I wake up and sit down to watch wrestling, and I fall asleep during Seth Rollins promo. It was weird as all hell. Anyway, I'll go from that to Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. Oh, and I, in your face of fear. Sorry, I've been trying to do Bray Wyatt impersonation, but honestly, that sounds like putting energy into this, and no. The Hell in a Cell format needs to be dropped immediately, because Hell in a Cell is never going to be what it used to be. Hell in a Cell used to be the ultimate, ending of a feud. That's where the fucking matches, the feud, the bad blood ended, and blood spilled everywhere. It was a fucking massacre of a match. And you can't be that anymore, because PG, and that's okay. You don't need these kinds of extreme matches. Honestly, it's better for everyone that they aren't around, really. Like, I know wrestling fans are hungry for blood, because wrestling is the ugly stepchild of gladiator battles and theater. But no, Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns are not good opponents. Bray Wyatt can be amazing. I love Bray Wyatt, but they've ruined him. They ruined him long ago, and Roman Reigns is not someone that's equipped to deal with Bray Wyatt, because every time they have a confrontation, it looks really weird. Like, Bray Wyatt needs to be reserved for special types of opponents, and he only works when he's a crazy cult man. With the cult, by the way, he must have his cult, and he's not trying to convert other people to the dark side, making other to the Wyatt side, whatever you want to call it. And Reigns, I honestly, I'm not paying attention to this, because I knew whatever justification Wyatt has to go after Reigns would be bullshit, so I didn't care. Let's talk about the real monster here, Braun Strowman. He's huge. Do you know how huge he is? Yes, he's a huge, thick monster, man. He's like Rusev, just tall. And they've been doing a good job. They did at least a good job, like, to put him over. A lot of people complain about the rear neck arm choke finisher, but that's okay. It's okay. It doesn't put it on well, but you don't need that. It only needs to be done. It only needs to be put over. You can make a fucking chin lock a finisher if you put it over enough. Like, if you put that chin, like if Mark Henry did a fucking headlock or chin lock and just made people try to just crush their throat or head. And he did that enough and make it look believable, and we're going to love it. And that's what they could do with Strowman choke thing. But yeah, in the beginning they did him great. Like, Strowman was a fucking beast. You couldn't do anything to him. That's how you introduce a monster heel. And lately they have tried to make him look more vulnerable, which is an issue. Braun Strowman should not look vulnerable at all. They should make him look like the fucking reincarnation of early 90s Undertaker. He should not be beaten. He should not be stunned that much. Like, when the Undertaker debuted, how he lost by a count out. That's like the only way I would accept you doing anything to him. Reigns, as the triumphant face he is, has managed to spear him over the announce table and shit, making Braun Strowman look tough. Yeah, but he's not the beast. He can be beaten. Yeah, good luck with that. They're doing decent 6-man tags. Like, did a decent 6-man tag with Strowman, with the Wyatt family versus Dean Ambrose, Chris Jericho, and Roman Reigns. If this is going to lead to Dean Ambrose, Chris Jericho feud, I'm not going to be unhappy. But the thing about Chris Jericho, his returns aren't special anymore. I love Chris Jericho. He's one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, if not the all-time favorite wrestler I have. And yeah, it's just like, it's not going to work. Like the second, I remember watching the second coming of Y2J, and how people just marked out like schoolgirls over that, because it was his second coming. Like, it was the second coming of the Ayatollah and rock and roll, and led to his epic heel run. And then his third coming came, and he lost everything. And then his fourth coming came, and he lost everything. And then I think it was the fifth, maybe it was the fourth. Then he faced Bray Wyatt, beat him at a very critical time, and then he lost everything because no one cared, because everyone expected him to lose. And he came back again, and he lost. If he's going to be that legend that people are like, oh, things are going to be shaken up now, you need to have him win stuff. It's good to have people you can put over younger talent, but that's what you can use Cena and Randy Orton for. You don't need to bring in a legend to then lose, to then leave, and to come back and lose again. Like, you can have him lose feuds, but have him at least win important matches. But they did completely wrong with Bray. Anyway, Bray Wyatt is dumb. Really, he's dumb because he was steaming hot before John Cena. He was fed to John Cena. He lost at the most important match of his career at WrestleMania. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but he should have won it, because you can't have them lose big matches when they're not firmly established yet. They're not going to become stars if you do that. Like, they were pushing him, but at the same time they made him lose, and then he looked like a complete pussy for the rest of the feud, despite the fact that he took John Cena to his limits. And then Brock Lesnar beat John Cena into pulp after the Chris Jericho thing, and Bray Wyatt, and a week or so after, John Cena comes back, faces Bray Wyatt, a man that took him to his very limit, that threatened his legacy. Fergus, think of your legacy, John. And he beats him up. He Brock Lesnar's him, takes him to Suplex City, or whatever you want to call it, and it looks horrible. He takes at him and the entire Wyatt family, and they're done after that. You kill them, and then they're just gone for a while. And then suddenly we see that, I'm Luke Harper, I set you free, and Eric Rowan, I set you free, and he returns to Hell in a Cell with his magical genie lamp, costs Ambrose the victory. And at the same time, you've stripped the crazy cult leader of his cult. You have stripped him of a special entrance thing. And, he only has his music and the fireflies out. He doesn't have the opening. We're here. And you just strip away the iconic parts of his character. He's feuding with Dean Ambrose, which on the upside might sound great, but the problem is that they did the wrong thing with him, and they made him the cult man that tries to convert other people to cult side. The problem is Ambrose is already crazy. So yeah, he's going to hit you with a stick and don't care. So that looked weird as hell. And then you had a TLC match at some point where Ambrose faced up against him and fucking made him his bitch for 20 minutes until he lost via an exploding television. The things that normally destroys your fingers. But then again, the Ambrose has been proved to be a superhuman, because he came back after a week after a crushed trachea. That's sinking. And yeah, this match was never. Yeah, back to the Hell in a Cell match, I suppose. Like, Bray Wyatt is fucking ruined because he's lost his cult. His cultists were ruined because they still kept the cult characters, except Eric Rowan, who became an award vineyard, and guitarist. Like, why the hell would you wrestle? I would taste some of Eric Rowan's wine, and I don't drink. But yeah, okay. Bray versus Roman. This is already doesn't fail because Hell in a Cell is not what it used to be, and they try to sort of do it, but they can't do it. And this is going to be a recurring theme, by the way. Wyatt loses eventually. I saw when it was going to lose. Honestly, they went through a few tables. It was a completely decent match, honestly. It was not much of the bullshit in it, but yeah, the whole shit and this is awesome shit were not. Chants were not warranted. And then, finally, Wyatt has him down. And he puts the kendo sticks into the turnbuckles, and I'm like, this is not going to work in any way. What the fuck are you thinking? This does not even make sense, really. Like, you're going to hit it. Are you going to hit him in the eye? No, you aren't, because there are two of them. Are you going to toss him into it? No, there's no way that's going to work. And it didn't. He takes over, walks out, and starts whispering in his ear. And then, you know, and the arm, he leaned Roman like this, so his arm was behind him, and it was so obvious. Everyone fucking called it. It was so obvious that it was not funny. Like, people were like, "Oh, he's going to lose now." He pulled out one candlestick, beat Bray, beat the shit out of him, and speared him 1, 2, 3. This was not the right guy. The right guy did not go over because Bray Wyatt has now resurfaced his Wyatt family, added Braun Strowman to it. He should have beaten Reigns to go over strong. He should have looked like the winner here because they've already ruined the. Back to that. But yeah, wrong guy got over. All I'm going to say. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg and Billy Gibson is there, and yeah, Xavier Woods got beat up by the Dudley Boys and put the table on Raw, and he's not going to be there. I don't know why he's not going to be there, for reason, but whatever. It's good. Then the Dudley Boys versus New Day match starts, and out comes the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E, carrying the trombone, the broken trombone, and I can't stop gushing about how great the New Day is. One thing, it had a guy that, I love the New Day on so many ways. I had hope from it from the beginning, but man, I've actually had to go through a lot of shit before they found their groove as heels, and they're great heels. They're the best thing going. Their promos gives me hope every time. They are unicorns, for fuck's sake. They are real life unicorns. They bring magic into my life. They make me not want to kill myself while watching this horrible show. Yeah, they're doing the promo, and they're talking about how they're going to in honor of Xavier, because Xavier Woods, because the entire orchestra misses him. All the trombone players misses him. Xavier Kofi Kingston is going to use Demon Dudley, play the bongo drums on Demon Dudley's head, and Big E is going to turn Bubba Ray's the stomach into from one, and it was a fat joke, and he's going to do it like a Kamala, and they're all starting just hitting themselves. And it's, the entire promo was funny. Let's all take your unicorn horns and put it on your unicorn forehead, and then it's great. It's great. Mark was good. The only thing that weirded me out was that didn't weird me out. But one thing, when Kofi Kingston did the Eddie Guerrero spot, and everyone just lost it over it, and I was just like, yeah, this is great. And then the referee saw it, and he's like, he looks at Baba, looks at Kofi, and he looks like fucking Darth Vader, or he looked during the. Like, he was almost like he was Sophie from Sophie's Choice. Like, should I DQ them, or not? Eventually decided to not to, and Kofi Kingston just goes bad on him. And Big E is the legal man here. At no point before this had Kofi tagged in. He just saved the day with a double dropkick before they could get the tables. And Big E is tossed out of the ring by the referee while Kofi does Eddie's spot. And I'm like, and then they beat him down and they tried to pin him. I'm like, what? Biggie was a legal man. At least I was blanked out or something. Because to me, I remember that he was a legal man. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And because they tried to pin Big E right before that, I think. But anyway, Kofi comes in, they try to pin him, and eventually Big E comes in back in, attacks Bubba with the trombone. Devon sends them both flying out to the outside. Kofi Kingston with the Trouble in Paradise. Do they win? Sorry, I just blanked out to try to remember, but whatever. The trombone was used and broken in half, and I love Kofi's reaction to that. No, the trombone. Xavier's word spirited in it. Yeah, and they win, and I'm just great. Right, guys, went over. The New Day has been booked right consistently. It is great. And now we have the Divas title match, Nikki Bella versus Charlotte. I had a made 48-minute long rant video about why the Bellas, especially, should not be involved in any kind of in any of this. Maybe the match was good, maybe not. I honestly went into that match with a bad attitude because Nikki Bella was involved. The only thing I'm glad is that, come on, Nikki, was not going in my. I've watched Total Divas, and you know what? Breed doesn't seem like a bad person, but honestly, like, come on, Nikki, is no. Yeah, and another thing was when Nikki Bella tries to German suplex Charlotte, because obviously she thinks she's an NXT women's wrestler now, obviously. And it's not going to work. And Charlotte does a backflip in the middle, and that was one horrible thing. I thought for a second that she was going to die. Because he does the back suplex, the backflip out of the German suplex, lands and bends over forwards while Nikki Bella falls. I think she fell on her for a second. And honestly, I was just stunned. I thought that Charlotte got the full weight of Nikki Bella on her, pressing her head into the mat. I was scared. And then later you have Charlotte wins, thankfully. And then one of my howlers of the night, Paige and Becky Lynch comes down. I don't know how well I paid attention, but why is Paige there? Paige turned heel. She turned into a sort of meta heel, but why is she celebrating with him? She coughed for the victory, and they battled her later, and what? And it says, when is she turning heel again? Like, what is this? Did I miss the memo? Did I miss the memo? Did I miss out on what the fuck was going on here? I'm honestly like, what? Yeah. Just forget about it. Like, the match was okay enough, I suppose. I don't know. I went in much bad attitude. I don't want to see the Bellas in any kind of wrestling match because they went from god awful to bad. Yeah, they've improved, but that doesn't say much. Anyway, Dean Ambrose comes and talks with Roman Reigns backstage. Roman says Reigns says it was a hell, but he loved it. Oh, wait, you put over the Hell in a Cell match now. Thank you. And Ambrose like, yeah, we both know what's next, and Reigns agrees, but we are going to talk about it tomorrow. We're going to celebrate. I don't care. There's probably seats for something greater, but I don't care at the moment. I like Ambrose, but they've fucked him over too. They fucked everyone over. And then we have the Demon Kane versus Seth Rollins. I'm not going even to start on this storyline. Kane is a death for every feud. Like, why are they doing this? Kane is not an interesting opponent. Because after Kane lost his mask back in the day, he's not been booked well. Honestly. Like, he's booked like a monster sometimes, and he's booked like a fucking silly douchebag other times. And he has no impact anymore. And the same comes from here. When Demon Kane comes out, no one is intimidated. Because for a long period of time, he was a guy that the #1 contender beat to face the World Heavyweight Champion, or he was one half of Team Hell No. So, yeah, I was just, no. Roland, this is every Kane match ever. I was a little pissed off when like Kane takes control in the beginning with a big DDT, which was weird. And then I mean, I've seen it, but I was weirded out by the opening. Anyway, and then suddenly Kane comes and does the sit-up drop when he is, the opponent sitting up and he comes with a drop kick, and Seth Rollins almost immediately gets up from that, and I was just like, sell it! I know it's the beginning of the match, but you get a fucking 2-meter tall giant flying into your face, feet first, with boots on. Don't get up immediately. You don't have to look like a fucking train wreck, but that's why you don't do that move in the beginning. Oh well. It was a back and forth match, and Demon Kane lost. It wasn't a big threat after all. It just took him a few top rope moves to get him down on a pedigree. Okay, they have to stop having Seth Rollins using the fucking pedigree. Like, I know they didn't like the what's it called now? Curb stomp. But the curb stomp was distinct, at least, as a finisher. It was the best finisher, but it was a distinct move that Seth Rollins was known for, and it, people remembered it. Pedigree is Triple H's move. He's using it. It's wrong. There's no good way to put this. Seth Rollins needs a distinct finisher for himself that looks okay. They don't give him that. They give him another guy's finisher. And while we're on the fucking authority subject, one thing we need to stop is fucking, because I remember seeing it in the promo packet, is Stephanie McMahon making the wrestlers look like babies. Like, I know she's a boss, but the wrestlers look like complete pussies. Like, she goes over to them, like the New Day, who beat up John Cena, the Dolph Ziggler, and the Dudley Boys, and she's like, hey, they rocks. And she's like, I'm going to send you to hell that makes Suplex City look like a kindergarten. And I'm like, no, that's not how you do it. And this is stupid. And yeah, I think actually that thing happened before, but even so, I'm just tired. I'm just tired of that. I'm tired of the fucking long opening promos, and I'm tired of corporate Kane and Demon Kane acting like they're a personality. Glenn Jacobs, just please go and help people down at NXT and train them instead. I think you would be more qualified doing that. You're old. Your character is raped beyond belief. Yeah, you can't appellate it anymore. And the only thing, like, I just thought that the whole split personality thing wasn't a split personality. It was just Kane fucking with them. But I'm not sure if it ended up being like that. Rollins wins. The Demon Kane wasn't a big threat after all. Then we have the Ryback and Kevin Owens. I was convinced that Ryback was going to do a moonsault in this match because he's been trying to learn backflips. And good on him, because I've never dared to try to do a backflip. I'm an unathletic fuck, but I've still never dared, even when I was doing it on a trampoline. So, you mastered the fear. Good for you. Honestly, I like Ryback. I don't think he's that good of a wrestler, but like, he's improved. And he works hard, and it's a good look. His promos can be weird, but not the good kind of weird. But yeah, Kevin Owens was with him. This match was always going to be decent at best, and it was decent. And then Ryback comes in and is going to do shell shock. Owens, grabs the top rope, grabs out, breaks the move. Ryback tries to crawl after him, just get him. And it almost like he's going to be disqualified for a second, and the referee's like, no, Ryback, get away. He's in the ropes. And then I think Kevin Owens hits it with the eye rake, but I can't see it clearly. That was weird. If that was supposed to be an eye rake, it was a bad angle to see from camera-wise, or it was just a bad done eye rake. Anyway, Ryback gets out, pop-up powerbomb, Kevin Owens wins. Good work. Good man. Just now try to break the prestige title. And then we see Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. Chapter 1 was not the fucking ending of the streak. Chapter 1 was the first Hell in a Cell match, or even before that, if anything, which was one of the most grisly things I've ever seen. I've not managed to see through it. It was that gory. It was sickening, really. And here we arrive at the problem. As I said, Hell in a Cell is the end of all feuds. And the original match was so that you couldn't replicate it in the PJ era. And they start a match, and this match was really short. All of these matches have been rather short this evening, which is weird. But anyway, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar go at it. Brock Lesnar was almost cut up immediately. And so is the Undertaker after a while. So is not so the Undertaker, then my howler comes in. The fucking doctor comes to try and clean him up. The match is stopped. The fucking Hell in a Cell match is stopped. And then he gets up, like, just, I'm fine, and gets up, and they start beating each other up more. Some chair shots, they fight to the outside a little bit. Eventually, I see where, Brock Lesnar takes the Undertaker, takes him from one side out to the other, Irish whips him into the Undertaker, into the cage, busts him up, and then gets him up later and just start beating on him. And I see that's when he's going to get cut. Anyway, I don't know if the cut must have been approved beforehand, because if not, they would have stopped the match sooner. Anyway, Undertaker, and then Brock Lesnar is going to suplex the Undertaker. Undertaker beats him in suplex off. And I was so weirded out by that, because before this match, Michael Cole had deemed Brock Lesnar to be the master of the suplex, while the Undertaker is the greatest striker in WWE. Brock Lesnar beat the Undertaker at striking, and the Undertaker beat Brock Lesnar at suplex. Those titles were undermined rather quickly. The 50-year-old man takes out Brock Lesnar in a suplex complex. What the fuck? Anyway, they go in. And then the doctor comes again and checks on the Undertaker. And I'm like, no, this is Hell in a Cell match. And then Brock Lesnar tries to get to him while the doctor tries to check it. And the ref stops him. You're already... And then they go into a replay, because replays have to come over everything. And Brock Lesnar sends the doctor flying with a push. And I'm just like, we didn't see that now, did we? The crowd cheers, but we don't see it. And they start fighting again. And then they do something weird. They're both rather bloody. Like, they're rather bloody, impressively so. But even then, doctor stopped. Then Brock Lesnar exposes the ring. And why did he do this? Because apparently he's going to hit him on the wood. But then you take the steel plate away. Well, not the steel plate, but you take the plating away. Then you take the fucking protective padding. So yeah, the wrestling ring is a hard place to be tossed at, guys. I know wrestling rings are not the rings without that sort of padding, but still. And then he's going to hit him on the wood. And they failed doing that so many times. He got chokes down on the wood, and I'm like, oh my... That was actually kind of great in a sense, but then the Undertaker is going to do a tombstone on the wood, but he hits the mat. Like, he tries to hit it on the wood, but he fails so miserably, and it was the worst tombstone I've seen the Undertaker do in some time. And eventually, Brock Lesnar wins by giving him a low blow, which makes sense in storyline, because he finally gets revenge for all the billion low blows the Undertaker has given him. Brock Lesnar wins with a F5 on the wood, I think. I was looking at my clock at the time, because I thought it was going to last longer, but it didn't. Brock Lesnar wins. Here's the weird thing about this whole thing. As I said, the Hell in a Cell matches should just fade out of existence, because they cannot go back to what they once was. That's good, but don't keep them around, because everyone is going to remember the old Hell in a Cell matches. And they're going to compare them to the new ones, and those are tame. And even this one was tame, because the fucking doctor shit. If this was not under, like, if Vince did not approve of this, I would be surprised. Even if he hates cutting people cutting themselves. It was the right move, but the doctor ruined it. So yeah, good on you with that. The Undertaker should have been a heel going into this match. I know it's hard to do it, but honestly, he had been doing so much heel shit, it should have been a heel. But Brock Lesnar suddenly started doing heelish things, which was weird, because he had been booked consistently as a babyface doing it. So yeah, this is weird. I'm glad this is over. And I thought the Undertaker might retire now, but I should have known better. Because after this, like, Undertaker eventually rises off, people go, oh, thank you, Taker. Guess who comes out? Bray Wyatt, the guy who just lost to Roman Reigns. Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah. This might have some meaning if he had been put over, if he had actually won a singles match in fucking May on Raw, and if he actually had beaten Roman Reigns in a Hell in a Cell match. He had none of those things. He and the Wyatt family comes out, beats up the Undertaker, and carries him out. And people boo this. And then Bradshaw comes in and just like, this is horrible, Michael. And aren't you the heel commentator? Why are you going against the heels? Why would you just like be like, oh, they're making a statement? The Undertaker, like, they're the new face of fear, Michael. And yeah, and he starts insulting them, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on there? The new, honestly, I just tuned it out. Tuned it out. It's gone. Man. For one thing, Bray should have won the WrestleMania watch against the Undertaker because neither result was going to be good. I didn't want to see that match. You didn't want to see that match. You thought you would, but you wanted to, but you didn't. Yeah, the crazy cult man has a cult now, finally, because they realized that was one of the worst booking disasters they've ever done. And yeah, he lost to Roman Reigns, and then he goes out and beats the Undertaker, and they carry him out like a crucifix. Is this going to lead to something? Obviously. Is it going to be good? Probably not. Is this going to help Bray Wyatt in any way? No, because Bray Wyatt is not believable in the first place anymore. He's not the new face of fear because he isn't scary. He used to be scary, but now he isn't because he's a fucking fraud and exposed. Like, in character, he's a fraud. And that could have been great, but if he had consistently won, and people could have just realized it was a fraud. He wasn't supernatural about it or anything, but yeah. I'm honestly like, what the fuck are they doing? What the fuck are they thinking? Basic storytelling. If you're going to put over a guy, the guy is going to end the show by beating down the Undertaker and carry him out. You have to do this, man. You have to put him over. You have to build to this. You have to build him strong. So it looks believable. So it adds to his resume. So it makes him look like a big threat. But the biggest threat in the fucking WWE is not him and Braun Strowman and Crazy Eyes and the Big Red. No, it's the fucking New Day dancing around because they have been consistently booked strong now. And they're the fucking comic relief groups that suddenly became serious. I love that. But still, like, if you're going to do this, you have to build him up. And you didn't build him up. You made him look like a complete loser. And I know all of this basic storytelling. Basic. Yeah. Could I go into more detail about this? Yeah, I was weirded out by the exposing of the ring. Yeah, I get the point, but I get the idea. But you could have just as well just done it on the steps or something. You didn't have to make the ring look phony and fake. We all know it's scripted, but you could have tried to protect the business a little more. The match must have been short after that because you took a big chunk of the ring and removed it, so it's saved the wrestler. Properly saved the wrestler almost. So yeah, that was weird. But yeah. This has been Kardan. And you have seen my rambling, insane thoughts about wrestling today. And this has been hype. It's been weird. It was a meh show. It didn't suck, but I'm going to forget the show in a few days, most likely. I'm going to remember the annoying moments, but I'm not going to remember which show it was. And I'm the one that tries to always note down this shit, but whatever. Signing off.